Excuse me.
All right, we're being recorded. Fine.
Okay, anything you say may
Be held again. Yeah.
okay. What did I do?
Deanne, we only have one eye and now we're getting more of your face.
Oh, there I am.
What
I'm
did I
trying-
do?
Okay.
I just, there I am.
So I want to know who's opting out.
Hey,
Hey, Sandy, how are you?
good, how are you?
All right.
Sorry about that, folks.
Set up.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi.
I'm tending to stay with what we have.
Well,
Paul,
we're gonna talk about it.
Paul, I have a question for you.
First of all, we are recording for the benefit of the people that cannot be here tonight. A number of the people have asked, could they see it? Linda Coda Spotty sent me a message before. So I said, I'll record it and I'm gonna post it on my private channel on YouTube and then send out the link to them. So if anybody who couldn't be here tonight, they could see it. I know Doug also won't be able to be here tonight as well.
Mhm.
Okay,
Hi, Sandy.
question.
Hi.
Paul had a question. Your residence is, I don't know if it's Florida or New Jersey, but how do you find the health coverage in, do you go to New Jersey doctors?
I'm a resident of Florida, but I spend almost 6 months in New Jersey. I have duplicate sets of doctors in both states. I have my cardiologists, I have my GPs, I have my gastro doc. Well, actually, my gastro is here, but urologists here or there. Florida, there's no problem at all. In Jersey, there's no problem. So basically, it works well.
Because we've been, since we moved to New Jersey about almost 4 years ago, we've been just making the trip back into New York to see doctors. So I was just I'd rather not, but I'm not sure whether or not the doctors in New Jersey would.
Excellent doctors here. I have no problems at all.
Yeah, when I lived in New Jersey, I had excellent doctors too. There was no problem whatsoever.
One of them almost killed me last August, but that's another story.
I'm just wondering if I'm in a different category. I don't know if you saw,
I read what you
I
wrote.
did.
Yeah.
because none of you are paying like a premium for the health coverage. You're just paying.
Yes. We pay $190 something a month.
In addition to drug cost?
Yeah, it's $150 per month for drugs.
So you're paying 190 something and 150
I'm not.
together?
I'm not.
That's, well,
Hi,
you know,
Marilyn.
I'm a different,
Hi.
hi, Marilyn.
Marilyn,
I'm a different union also than you guys are too.
Okay.
Right, that's true.
CSA.
Yeah.
So you have better health coverage than I do anyway. So
Not anymore.
I don't know. I'm just wondering, why people are opting out and,
I'm opting out.
I'm opting out because I'm in California and I've been in a separate health plan. I don't even know if it goes through the union or what. Nothing said GHI. I've always been paying since I moved here. My question is, do I have to pay additional for opting out of something that I wasn't even in?
I think you'd be able to keep what you,
Oh, I'm definitely going
are in.
I'm definitely going to keep it. There was no problem with excellent doctors, no
But in order-
payment, no deductible.
in order to stay in government Medicare, though, you'll have to opt out of this new plan
Yes, I will.
and then
opt out.
pay whatever you've been paying to whomever you've been paying it until now.
Which I don't
to
mind
stay
at all.
in, yeah, because it's what you've had.
Yeah, but I don't want to pay an extra $191.
No, you won't have to pay that as well, because you're opting out of, that's, if you opt out of, right now, most of us have Medicare, government Medicare,
Right,
okay? And then we have GHI, emblem, whatever you want to call it, and that is paid for by the city,
okay.
except for the drugs.
Right, $150 a month.
Right, which is going down, by the way, to 125. And that, we get half of that back from the government, and that's $780 check.
Which I do also, I get a check.
Okay. When you opt out,
See, but I don't know if they're gonna look at what, in other words, general opt-out, do they take the time to look at what plan you presently have?
well, when you opt out on that opt-out sheet, I believe it has,
All right,
Excuse
a
me,
place for you to put down what you're going to have.
Did
Yeah,
I
what
miss
you're
the
going to go
beginning of
into.
this meeting?
I'm sorry,
I am.
What time did this meeting start?
few
minute
minutes
ago.
ago,
7:30.
Got there.
3 hours ago.
29.
No, I thought it was 7:30 tonight.
It is.
Yes,
It is,
it's
Oh, okay.
4:30.
It sounds like, no, I'm listening to the conversation. It sounds so in detail. I said, boy, I must have missed a lot.
Yeah.
You girls are into the depth of this already.
Did you
I
see,
can-
Anne, did you see my post today?
Yeah. Well, you know something, well, I'm still going to call myself again.
Yeah,
Just-
too.
It doesn't hurt to get it verified again.
No, this
Because
guy
I called
actually,
last week.
he
and,
actually called me to tell me his father's in the same boat, so as we are, and so, I had discussed it with him in depth the other day, and he remembered, and he called me back before I got to call him back.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was on a Zoom with my union this afternoon, and they said officially that Sloan Kettering is now
Sloan's taking it, yes.
part of the plan.
You see, that was my biggest concern too, is Sloan Kettering,
Yeah.
I've been dealing with them now for 11 years and, they're very expensive.
Yeah,
They are part of the
Oh, that's-
Medicare Advantage.
That's
Effective
what
today.
MSK, okay.
That had been an issue all along, was that in the
Right,
beginning, they had said Sloan and Hospital for Special
Hospitals.
Surgeries were involved.
Yeah.
They were not.
I just called Frank Borello. He forgot about the meeting. He'll be joining us momentarily.
Who, Frank Borello?
Yeah, I tracked him down.
He finally joined, huh? I told him, I said, get online, and
I think he's probably doing it on his phone, but that's okay. I sent him the link.
So apparently HSS is supposed
by
to
the way, Paul, your son is
fly
so
in the next
good.
couple of days.
Thank you.
yeah, that's what
have
they
no
told us.
idea.
Yeah.
How
Look
many
who's coming in.
people? Sorry. I was gonna ask how many people present in this,
The mustache is white.
I didn't hear what you just said.
I said his mustache is turned white.
Whose
His-
mustache?
Right.
Frank,
I don't see him.
I don't see him
How
either.
you doing?
Maybe.
Hey Frank, how are you?
Frank, hey Frank, turn your screen. I can't,
Video.
I only
video.
see up to your nose.
I don't see anything. Wait a minute.
Frank, move your lens down so it covers more of your face.
Yeah, just your
I don't
glass.
see a box for him even.
Sit up taller.
I don't think he's connected to audio.
and talk. You have to talk so we can see
Hey,
you.
hey, Brucey,
Yes.
did you get washed out with that big rain in the Atlantic Highlands?
We got lucky, but we did have trees, a lot of.
That's better, Frank. A little bit
that's
higher,
better.
a little bit lower
Yeah,
with the
a lot of trees.
camera.
I don't like to
Is he
see.
hearing you?
Yeah, that's better. Tilt the telephone more towards your neck.
I don't even see a box for him.
I don't either.
You know,
I do.
click at
Press
the
the
bottom,
Maybe if I
there's like
click
a
over here
little
on the-
green thing for additional
That's
space.
probably
Little arrow. Oh,
depends
there he
on
is. Hi, Frank.
I don't see him.
He's
Frank, I
hit
tried
the
to
blue
track you
arrow.
down on your old street. This is Dennis,
People need to do this on a desktop. I see everybody nice and big.
My
right?
desktop doesn't
Yes,
have a,
Frank.
Does he have the sound turned on? I don't think.
probably
He
not.
said it was connecting to the audio. You know what? I can't call him back because if I call him back, he's on the,
Hold up a sign.
Frank, if you hear me, make sure your audio's turned on.
Oh,
Tell
I
him to
just
raise
had-
Oh,
it.
there he is.
Yeah, that's better. That's a better picture.
I only see two people besides myself, Paul and Taraselli.
You got to press the arrow on the right or the left.
Now we just see his
The blue
name.
circle.
There's
Oh,
an
I-
adjustment that, gives you different displays, a grid
Oh, wait a
display.
minute, there was something on top, the gallery, a gallery here.
Yeah, and there's a blue
Oh,
arrow.
now I got the gallery, okay.
You can't share the screen, it says.
You know, Paul, the only reason I can get you, I love when you put the telephone number. You just hit that once and boom, it works. When I try and do it any other way, I get lost.
Well, whatever works.
The
That's what's
link, you
important.
mean?
Right. What
Yeah,
were we
Frank.
talking about?
So far with among us, how
It
many
said
of
connecting
you
to
think
audio.
you're opting out?
I am.
I'm
Use
considering
my,
it, I'll tell you the truth. As long as Sloan Kettering is in, I can't be bothered with all this doing
Yeah.
things independently. I'll tell you the truth. I'm just, at my age, I can't handle anymore. Do you understand that?
Absolutely.
So
I
and
think
you
you can
want to
handle a
have
lot
the
more.
old system where you just go where what we've been doing, right?
Yeah,
The
not
problem is, for example, I had 7 invasive tests in 2 days in the city the week before last. And this new thing would have made me get a pre-approval for each one of those.
Oh,
And most likely, I would not have been allowed to do all 7 of them in 2 days. I would only have been allowed to do 2 in a day, which means I would have had to go back and forth to the city 5 times. So as long as there's pre-approvals involved in this, I'm going to opt out at least for a year. It may work out well, and then I'll switch over in a year. But for me, a big point of it, as Ann knows, because we've discussed this, is that that whole Sloan Kettering thing is I have to have Sloan Kettering, and if it wasn't in there, there's no way I could have taken it.
what do you mean we have to get pre-approvals with the new
Yeah,
one?
that's what
With
this
the new
new
one,
thing.
yeah. Pre-approval
words-
for pretty much everything.
In other words, I'm going for a CAT scan in October.
You would,
I
your
have to
doctor
get
would
pre-
have to have it pre-approved.
Oh.
Oh, no,
that's
not
a-
in October, not until after
Not till-
January.
No,
Yeah.
I know, not in October. But in other words, every time I go to do something, I have to get pre-approved.
Yes,
come on, Dad.
That's a pain in the nuts.
Frank,
yes,
We,
that's
we
why I'm
have,
opting out.
we haven't had that to deal
No.
with. And, you know,
well, actually, technically you have. For example, if you're going for a CAT scan, they had to call the insurance company and make sure
But-
that they would do it.
But the hospital does it. In other words.
I didn't.
That I've had.
The
that in
hospital
past.
or the doctor will do it.
I had
You don't
2
do it.
MRIs, two biopsies, 2 ultrasounds, and 2 mammograms over a period of, 3 MRIs over a period of a week. And none of that had to get a pre-approval.
Mine was done in Florida, maybe that's why.
Could be, I don't know.
I think I read something today where out of network, the doctor can do it.
Hey, Frank.
Yes, Frank.
Now I see.
All right,
He's
guys,
He's moving. No,
He's in the dark.
he's in the building.
Turn the light on. Turn the light on.
Light
I
on.
can't see you.
I don't think he's ever done this before.
he hasn't. Okay, listen, for the people that are going to be watching this on YouTube, let me start from the beginning, because I'm gonna edit.
There,
some of
that's
this
better.
stuff. As you know, on January 1st, unless the courts intervene, and that's a possibility, there is going to be a new health plan that all retired municipal employees will be put into unless they opt out. If you do nothing, you will automatically be put into a new health plan that is going to be managed by Blue Cross Blue Shield and Emblem Health. Now, if you want to stay with the insurance that you currently have, you must opt out of the plan that's being imposed on us. And you should have received a booklet from the union. This is what it looks like. You can probably
I
get it
didn't receive
online.
it.
The other one.
Okay, and in the back of the book, several pages from the back is the opt-out form that must be filled out and submitted before October 31st
31st.
How can you get
of
one
this
if you
coming month.
How do you get another one of those if you can't find it?
You can get
Probably
the form
find it
online.
online.
I didn't get one either,
You can get the form
Nor did
online.
I.
but I know the form is on.
Hey, Frank, we hear
There he
you.
is.
Good.
Coming through loud and clear, we could see you.
Hey,
right.
Frank.
Let me just continue for a minute. One of my friends is Howard Shore. Howie Shore and I attended college together. His sister actually is my next door neighbor. He was the number 2 man to Mulgrew. He was in effect the vice president. Hi, Faith.
Hi.
He was the vice
Hi, Faith.
president of the UFT before he retired,
I think
probably about a year ago. I spoke to him on the phone, and I also spoke with some other people that are pretty involved in the union. They think the new plan is great. Now, before I continue, let me tell you right up front, my wife and I are probably opting out. But I want to give you their point of view. Okay. Everything that's in the current plan is included in the new plan and then some. For example, they are now going to give you a gym membership through the Silver Sneakers program. There's provision in there to be transported to the doctor's office if you cannot transport yourself. There is even some kind of a meal delivery service that's built into it. In addition, one of the things that I really like, my wife and I travel a lot, at least we did until COVID came upon us. And we were always concerned, what would happen if we had a bad medical emergency while we were in one of these countries?
You get insurance, travel insurance.
Yes.
You want to talk to somebody? Talk to Bruce.
Oh, I know that. In fact, I've always had the travel insurance, but the new Medicare Plus plan that they're going to be giving us does include medical coverage while traveling overseas. Sounds great, doesn't it?
No,
But
What's the but?
there's a big but.
thousands of teachers,
Hey, watch it.
We always knew they were assholes.
thousands of teachers have banded together. There are all sorts of groups that you could find on Facebook. One of the ones that I subscribe to, and I know that Maryland is always there, is the Pissed Off UFT Retired Teachers. That's exactly what they're called.
There are better
And
ones though.
they are saying that, number one, this plan should have never happened. We were not consulted in its implementation. There was no real legitimate vote from the membership.
You're absolutely correct. That's a
And
very
they're
valid
shoving it-
point.
They're
Okay,
shoving it down
Maryland.
the throat by the opt-out. It should be the
Maryland.
other way around.
At this point, I think you're much more better versed on this than I am. please fill us in on some of the objections to the new plan.
There is another Facebook group. It's New York City, and I can never remember the name of it. I posted it on this group so that people could see, and you can join it if you want to. What they did is they got together people from, not just teachers, there are police involved, there are fire people involved, there are clerical people involved, and they actually incorporated, and they making collections. I have donated twice, and I will donate whatever more they need myself. I mean, I can't do what they need, but I mean, whenever they need more, I'll do my part. They have, because there is already a suit by Aetna. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Well, there's a suit by Aetna because Aetna says this was all done underhandedly, and they were more qualified than this group that they
And
created.
the bidding wasn't done right.
Right. They actually, somebody, when they put in their bid, somebody actually leaked it to the group that is getting it,
Emblem.
which is a conglomerate of things. And it underbid them. So that's their pet peeve. They also claim that they're not qualified, and frankly, they're not. Anyway, so this other group with teachers, there are about 4,000 of us in the group right now. But they have filed their own suit. They hired lawyers and they have filed their own suit. And that's what the collection is for, is to pay for lawyers. I also read today, I think, that United Healthcare is also suing them.
Yes.
So basically what this group is doing is they incorporated themselves. They hired lawyers. They have a board who are unbelievably knowledgeable. They're throwing terms out there and I have no idea what they're talking about. But basically what they're hoping for out of all three of these, or one of the three of them, is an injunction to stop it. If it can't be stopped, perhaps it can be stopped for a certain amount of time until it's determined with all these suits, who's right and who's wrong. So that's right now what they're hoping for immediately. The one had a hearing with the judge yesterday, and while he did not create an injunction, he did say that he would look at the papers and things, and they would reconvene, I guess, on the 20th. Now that's 11 days before we have to have our decisions in. Those lawyers that this New York City workers group has hired, those lawyers are telling us not to opt out yet, to wait until they tell us to, because I think, I'm not quite sure why, again, I'm not a lawyer, but I think that they're concerned that people will get lost in the midst of this. In other words, if you opt out last week, if you opted out last week, and then this injunction goes through, well, where are you? Are you in like Neverland out in left field somewhere, or
Right,
or
you're in
what?
a limbo.
Yeah.
That wouldn't apply to me.
No, you're your own case.
Some case.
In reality, you're opting out strictly for the Medicare part, to keep government Medicare, which will serve you in any state of the United States, and not be involved in all of these pre-approvals and all that kind of thing. I've been following it very carefully because, for the first time in my life, I mean, I've needed my insurance, but right now I need it badly, and I'm going to be running up some big bills. So I was a wreck. In fact, I was more concerned about the insurance than I was about being sick. So today I felt better, but I'm still going to opt out because there was today somebody published, I think on this MN something. There are several of these groups like this. somebody posted, it's a 500-page document of everything that would be in this. And part of it was several pages of things that you would have to get pre-approvals for. And believe it or not, it was to be admitted to the hospital in an emergency.
Oh,
What do I do? Get out my crystal ball and say, next week I'm going to have a heart attack, and so I'll have to be admitted to the hospital. So will you pre-approve me now?
No, I don't-
Really, it's ridiculous. You
sound
can go
right.
to the emergency room, but you can't be admitted.
Admitted.
Admitted?
That doesn't sound right.
Right.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's among the first couple of things on the list. Pretty much everything you could possibly think of is on that list. It's a very
That's how they
expensive.
save $650 million.
Exactly. I
Like I
also, I have a paper here. Where did I was taking notes. I went to one of these meetings for a group called PNHP. And what it is are a bunch of doctors, lawyers, and some journalists that are their main concern was getting Medicare for all. But of course, they don't want to see Medicare go bye-bye if they want to get Medicare for all. So they were discussing, and these were some very educated people. I can give you some of their names if you want to try to look them up or whatever. They talked about Medicare Advantage in general and how they're pretty much known for offering all of this crap that you were talking about before. I don't need food brought to my house when I come out of the hospital. There's Meals on Wheels around here for that.
Go to Silver Star.
I want my medical paid for. I don't want to get a $100 gift certificate because I did some preventive thing.
You're paying for it indirectly.
Well, this is how they entice people in with all these little fluff things.
Right.
But then when it comes down to them paying, they don't. They don't
Marilyn, if you,
approve things. Go ahead.
Marilyn, if you want to keep this, your old plan, you have to pay, I was talking to Paul,
Yeah.
maybe between $4,000 and $5,000 a year more.
Well,
Yeah,
for two of
200 a
you,
month.
Yeah, it's
For two of us.
$191 per person.
yeah,
Say that again,
Say
Paul?
that again?
191.
Yeah.
And if you want there's a 365-day hospital coverage, which is like $3 more.
Right, so it's 194.40.
The
Yeah.
drugs that you're paying right now, you're paying $150 for, and the union is paying back half of that. Is going to go down to 125, but that's something you're already paying.
Mhm.
And your Medicare premium that you're already paying, that comes out of your Social Security, you're already paying too. So in reality, per person, it would be like $194 more. If you figure on the 25 that it's going down, then it's what, $166 more than.
All right, but how would we pay this? It wouldn't be coming out of our paycheck.
Yes, right out of
Probably
your,
will.
It'll come out of your pension.
same as it does now.
Yeah.
Oh, in other words, if I opt out,
Next
they'll
month, it'll be
still
200.
pay it?
If you
Or
opt
it'll
out
be-
and
it'll be a different amount?
Yes.
Well,
You'll be getting
that
$191
will be
a month less.
$200.
you see,
Actually 166.
I don't want to get
A
involved.
month?
Yeah, because the drugs are going down by 25. Yeah.
Is that a month, Marilyn?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Now, for
So
two
one
of
person.
you, it would be double that.
And 3,
Right.
like me, it's $600 a month.
And that's
Yeah.
if you have Emblem now. Some of you may have other plans, and
No,
that I'm not well versed in, but you would pay whatever their premium is.
By the way, a point of information. I live in New Jersey and we have many retired teachers in my community here at Four Seasons in Manalapan. And a lot of them were switched over by the state of New Jersey a few years ago to a Aetna Medicare Advantage plan, and they love it.
Okay,
They love it.
that's who is suing.
I know. They were saying that, it's a great plan. They love it. They carry one card. They don't have to carry a Medicare card and an Emblem Health card. One card does it all. I don't know about co-pays or anything, but they have no problems. And by the way, I
We'll
looked
have
at the
co-pays either
availability
way.
of doctors under the new plan. All my doctors are on that list.
They're on the list, but you need to check with your individual doctors to
Yeah.
make sure they will that they will participate. So right
They
now,
already did.
anyone that participates with Emblem Health is on that list. They put every doctor that participates right now with Emblem Health on that list. So when you go on the website and check, they're there. But you need to talk to your individual doctors because they may not participate with this new Medicare Advantage plan.
Actually, some of my Jersey doctors, specifically my cardiology group, was not on that list. And when
Okay.
I saw the cardiologist about 2 weeks ago, and I asked the receptionist, will they be accepting the new plan? And they said they didn't know. Subsequently, they did contact us and they said they will be accepting it.
Oh, good. That's good.
Where do you find that
However,
list,
That was
Paul?
the
However,
same with
My
Sloan
wife
until
was with
today.
her teacher Mahjong friends today. She came home and she said, we are opting out.
That's where you get
I
the
made up my
information.
mind, we're opting out, at least for 1 year.
That's what I'm doing. Even
That's what
though
I'm doing
Sloan
too.
has now accepted it. I'm
I'm still not, one of the things, like I said, I don't want another job. I'll tell you the truth.
You're right.
I'm not dissatisfied with what we have right now. All right. I went through chemotherapy, hospitals, because surgery, I didn't pay a penny. I've been to the hospital of special surgery, hip up. I had never paid a penny. I had a lot of things in the last 20 years,
Right.
never laid a penny out. So I'd like to stay just where I am, only because I know what I have. I don't know what I'm getting. And I don't trust, look at him with his, I don't trust.
My medical bill from last August,
I believe you.
well over $500,000.
Because you know something, I'd get a bill for my chemotherapy. The therapy cost $20,000 plus all the other. It used to be $25,000, $30,000 for one chemo. I mean, that could break you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, I would be happy. I am annoyed, I'm not only annoyed with this whole thing of us not being even asked if we wanted to, go into this whole thing. And I'm also annoyed with the federal government. Why don't they ask us about women's reproductive rights? Why don't they ask us, do we want to do away with guns? Nobody asks us anymore. We've given up too much. We've given up.
Because they don't care. They don't care what you think.
Well, you know something, if we made a big deal of it, I lived out in Phoenix for almost a year, Phoenix, Arizona. Man, they were going to build a new hospital. They voted on it. They were going to put a new extension on a road. They voted for everything there. My God, I don't know if they're still doing it. I believe in, the thing is, nobody asked. I don't believe our union didn't give us a longer period to think this over.
Well, it's not only our union, it's any other union in the city.
Yes.
It's-
Actually, if you sit on their meetings, they're pissed at the UFT. The UFT
Oh,
apparently caused it.
yes.
Yes.
There was a PBA presentation that was available online. I probably still have the link somewhere.
Yep.
The gentleman starts out laying the blame for this entire fiasco on the UFT. And
Yep.
here's the
True.
reason why.
And he's right.
A number of years ago, the UFT raided a fund for several $billions that was used to maintain the health plans. This money was supposedly used as I guess they borrowed it to pay retroactive salaries. The money was never replenished. It destabilized the fund, and this is where we are today.
And this
Marilyn,
is-
is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And this is why I also objected to the new plan, because the Teamsters Union, the sanitation, the unions, the big unions were negotiating with two insurance companies, basically. I hate insurance companies with a passion, hate them. They're a bunch of
Yeah,
no
I
good
agree.
so-and-so.
Please. This
And
is
you know
good.
something? And the big unions, Teamsters, Senate, these people have proved throughout history that they are not the most reliable people and know how to, jip money from their workers. And so
They
we've
have
got
to
big
pay for the
unions
transit to
and
leave.
big insurance companies with this new one. And that kind of put a damper on me.
Well, I'll make it even worse for you because the president of the Teamsters is on the board of Emblem, and he was involved in this.
How
Yeah.
convenient.
Well,
Well,
this is what
His name is
You're
Greg,
dealing
Greg
You-
something.
Gregory
unions.
Floyd.
Yeah,
Well, look at
And-
all our 40 years of work. Can we really trust the Board of Ed or the city for that matter?
Not the
No.
city. No.
And the
Not the
union
city.
had fishy lately. I went through this last time about PS14, telling all the old timers that were ready to retire maybe 3 years to go, they made them ATRs all over Staten Island. They lost their position in PS14. It was as if they came out of college and had to
Yep.
fish for jobs. I got this through friends of my wife who worked with them. They reorganized PS14. They didn't say anything about the society that goes to PS14, and that's why the kids can't read. They blamed the teachers, and they busted up all
yep.
the teachers, and the union said nothing. So I don't trust the union, and I don't trust the city.
Okay,
Look at the speed
Dennis,
camera on
Dennis,
Highland
I'm gonna be devil's advocate and
Boulevard. Yeah, we have to move on.
I'm just repeating what Howard Shaw said. And as well as a couple of other people who were involved with the union. According to Howie Shaw, he's going with the new plan. He said the union would never screw its members, and everything that they've done was in the best interest of the members. He also stated that it's a good
Well-
policy and you're giving up nothing and in fact getting more. And that's,
Sure.
to be seen, but I don't know if I want to take a chance. I think let the others take a chance for a year.
Yeah, right. Opt out for a year.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
if-
that's the consensus.
If these lawsuits, which, as I said, now there are 3 of them, but if these lawsuits are able to get an injunction, it'll be a moot point, at least temporarily. If we were really lucky, it would get stopped. I really don't see that happening, but again, I'm no lawyer. Just from what I've read on these other groups and this meeting, this doctors and lawyers hospital organization, I don't even know why I got the thing to go to this, because it really had nothing to do with our deal. It was pretty much about Medicare Advantage plans in general. You might want to look up, there was Trudy Lieberman. She was a reporter and she went all the way back to 1988. She worked for Consumer Reports and went through blah, 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 blah. But she was very informative about the evils of these plans. There was a lawyer His name was David Lipschultz. Maybe you can look him up online. Again, apparently they are advocates for people that are having problems with with medical insurance companies, and he was very unhappy with Medicare Advantage. Now, Oz keeps telling us it's a PPO instead of an HMO.
What is a
Whether-
PPO anyway? I don't even know what PPO is.
A PPO is you don't have to have a referral from your primary doctor. It's like what
But
we
then you
have
just
now.
told me
We have a
I
You can
PPO
go to your
now.
own doctors, choose your doctors. You don't have to get a referral from one to the other. You can, if you listen to Kim, who gave this speech for Emblem, and it was a sales pitch, believe me.
Absolutely.
It was, I forgot what I was gonna say now. Don't get old.
You already are.
What was I saying? Geez, I lost it.
Senior
PPO.
moment.
HMO.
Oh, she said that the people that were out of the network, you could even go to and you could pay them, because that's what she was suggesting people do for Sloan Kettering. Can you imagine paying that kind of a bill and then waiting for them to pay you back? And you know, I get glasses. These glasses were $1,200. My union paid me back $40 for them. You know, I don't want to pay for some MRI and then have my union say, well, it's worth, you know, 20. I'll give you 20. You know, seriously, not the union, but the Medicare Advantage plan, you know, yeah, they said you can go and you can, again, as Ann said, you have to do the paperwork, you have to apply for this. And then they say, well, I think it's worth $100. We'll give you, you know, nobody said they'll pay you, you know, dollar for dollar for it. They only said you can apply for it and we'll pay it.
Marilyn,
Yeah.
You're
let me
right.
just
You're right.
talk about this form for a minute. It's a
Go
very
for it.
simple form. Okay, basically a name, address, phone number, Medicare number, and all that stuff. No more than a dozen lines. They're giving you a lot of different options on completing the form. You could actually complete the form online. You could fax it in. You could do it by phone. You could
Yeah, I
email
wouldn't do
it.
that.
Okay, however, if you want to make sure that this gets there and it's registered correctly, I would definitely recommend that you send it registered mail, return receipt.
That's how I ended up in
It's
Manhattan.
going
Yeah,
to a
that's the way to
post
do it.
office box.
This way, there'll be no doubt that it was sent out and received by the
Positively.
appropriate people.
Right.
Post
You're
office.
right, Paul.
You know something, we could opt out for a year and then go and join this after a year.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
In fact, according to that, Kim, you could do it 2 months from now if you wanted to, but not the other way around. You can't go into that and then opt out of that one in 2 months to
And
go
go
back to
back?
what you had. You can do that
Next
in a
You
year.
can't do that?
Yeah.
Right.
You
You
No.
can
have
do
to
it next
stay
year.
into this Advantage Care for a year, in other words.
Yes. And then you could opt back into your other plan. That's what they say.
I like to. I would
Correct,
rather-
but you have to be
opt out for you.
careful because Emblem Health will look at your medical history and they can deny you coverage.
A
Oh.
previous,
Previous existing condition,
right.
they can, Emblem Health as your secondary can deny you coverage. So you cannot get denied your Medicare, but you can get denied the secondary coverage.
You know, that's an interesting point because
Yeah,
right
but
now,
it's just
Emblem Health is my secondary.
Right,
But they already have you. They're stuck with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they have you, but if you
When
go
you
into
leave-
Medicare Advantage and then after a year want to go back into traditional Medicare and your secondary is Emblem Health can deny you for existing medical conditions.
Is that because it's a secondary, because there's federal?
That's
law
because it's a
against that?
secondary, yes.
Oh, sneaky.
So be very careful, and when
That
you
may be
ask, when you
there.
call up and ask questions, make sure you're very thorough, because they'll just say, Oh, yes, you could go, you can opt back in, but you need to ask specific questions.
Yeah,
Will
but you
they
know,
consider pre-existing
And you don't know
conditions?
who you're
I was
talking
told
to.
yes.
You don't know who you're talking to either.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
They may be
Let's go-
taping you, but you're not taping them.
you know, when I came in, you guys were talking about how if we decide to opt out for a year, how we're going to pay this premium. I still don't understand that.
That'll come out of your pay. Your
It's
They'll
check,
come
gonna
out.
be deducted.
yeah, your check will
Your
be
pension.
$194 less.
You probably have
All
an
right,
explanation
But
at
then
the bottom.
don't we
I
get
got
back
a
some money
question.
from this usually for?
Not for that.
You still get back your $750. And if
Right.
you overpay like I do, I also get back Irma.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I
Right.
get it back too.
Do we get taxed on medical premiums, income tax?
No,
So then we're saving there. If I put out the $600 for the three of us, that's $600 I'm not gonna be federally taxed on in my paycheck.
I wouldn't bet on it.
I hope it's that way.
I don't know.
I think
That's
it
a good
probably
question.
would, 'cause it's
Never
income.
heard of that.
It's not for always, it's a year. Because you see, I prefer where I am. I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah, the doctor.
I've had no problems with money, although they are starting to give trouble.
You will get a copay each time too, even if you do opt out and keep what you have. But it's an inexpensive one. It's a $15 copay.
Right. Right.
In other
Except-
words, whether I go into the Advantage Care or stay in my old plan, I'm still gonna have a $15
Yes.
copay?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, there's a big comparison chart in that book.
However, you will not be paying the copay at your primary care physician. Your family doctor is exempt.
Oh,
Yes.
So in other words, there were
good for,
changes made in our plan already before this either.
No, basically, it's a punishment for opting out because they want you to go into the other thing. You're gonna get a copay in the other one. So if you opt out, you're gonna pay the premium and you're gonna get the copays.
Yeah. You know something? I am a very lucky woman in that, something, I've got a pension and Social Security. My house mortgage is paid. I don't have children to put through college. And I didn't put any kids through college. So I've got financially, I am very well set. And something, I just want what is the easiest for me. That's what I want.
Stay where you are.
stay
opt
where we
out.
are.
Yep. I'm opting out for that very reason. Number one, I don't need the aggravation of trying to get
This is-
these
this is what I
pre-approvals
don't want.
done. I'm not happy with the co-pays, but I don't know, maybe one of these lawsuits will deal with that. I don't know. But again, I can pay the co-pays. It's not going to kill me. I can pay the $191.
It's basically
Also
peace
not
of
going to kill
mind.
me.
You won't
And
even
I-
see
and I
it. It's
feel-
coming out of your pension check.
I feel
Yeah,
that
yeah.
the $191 that I will pay to try this thing out, so it comes out to what, $2,400 a year or something. That I'm sure that's going to come off of something that I would have ended up paying for as medical, like as what they didn't pay, my portion of what they don't pay. So I'm thinking I'll actually be saving money in the long run. But if not, then I'm saving the aggravation of having to fight for this every time they put in a request for a test or a
Absolutely.
procedure or
What do
So
you think, what do you think will happen if a huge number of retirees opt out?
Well, I think that's part
Gonna
of
come up
this.
with another plan.
Well,
No.
see, Aetna wants to be the one that has the plan. Maybe Aetna would be better. Maybe Aetna wouldn't be better. Who the heck knows? But
By the way, my feeling is that that's what's happening. All of a sudden, Mulgrew scheduled another question and answer for tomorrow afternoon at 2:00.
that's because Sloan Kettering signed on today.
So they could put out.
Because a lot of people were worried about that.
Yeah.
Oh, incidentally, there's a lady in my Florida community, Tereski. She was a principal, Lois Tereski. She's in charge of the UFT supervisor retirees in South Florida. And we've been consulting with her, and initially she was all gung ho on the new plan, and Lenny called her the other day, and guess what she's doing?
Opting out.
Opting out, yeah.
Why did Lenny come home from her mahjong game and say we're opting out? What was the straw that broke the camel's back? What did she say?
They're fearing the approval process.
Mhm.
Right
Mhm.
now, like for Lenny's having some issues right now. She had a bad pap smear last week, and she's going through all sorts of tests coming up on Monday. I mean, she made appointments. She got all the tests scheduled, no questions asked. It's being done. The question is, what happens if you're having health issues and the new plan says, well, Marilyn already addressed this.
Yeah.
They say, no, you don't. You can't do it. We're
I'm
not
having
approving
major
it.
surgery next week that is going to cost a lot of money. And I don't have time for them to play around with, oh, well, maybe you can have it. Well, maybe, I don't know. It's up to it. I don't know. What if you do this test instead? Or what if you take this medicine instead? I can't do that, and I would be going crazy doing it. Like Ann said, like I don't want another job. I don't want to have to keep track of what's getting paid, what's not getting paid, what's getting done, what's not getting done. So,
I was worried I would have, the way they make it sound, you would be responsible to pay. I didn't realize they would take it out. They still take it out of my pension. I thought it would be an independent thing where I would have to pay,
No.
do you understand?
Yeah,
Yes.
another paper, you're saying.
Another thing that
Check, yeah.
I don't want another.
They'll take it
hassle
out
in
like
my
they
life.
do your drug money now comes out of, that sounds funny, your drug
It
money.
all comes out.
But it comes out of your pension, and this will be the same thing.
My
Yeah.
daughter had a hospital bill when she broke her ankle in Thibia in Florida of $350,000 for the hospital.
They're ridiculous.
Medicare paid it, GHI paid it, and then when we win the court case, the legal case, I got to pay them back. So, but it was all paid for. I maybe paid $100 or something copay, something ridiculous.
The bills are ridiculous. Even the bills the doctors send
Yeah.
in
Yeah. Oh yeah.
for a 15-minute,
They
visit.
send in $200 and they get 20. But
Yeah.
The whole
we
thing
work
is
for $33 a day subbing. So
Well,
One of the things that that group of doctors and all mentioned is that Medicare Advantage plans put in billing, things that they're going to pay for. Medicare, I won't say it subsidizes it because it doesn't, but they do pay a certain amount into it because they have now been relieved of us. And so there is money that goes from the government into this Medicare Advantage plan. And what the Medicare Advantage plans will do is everything is billed with a code. So a code, when they look at me, might be, well, she's obese. Okay, well, obese, that doesn't make any difference in what I'm going to pay you for whatever I did for you. Whatever you did for her because she's obese doesn't make any difference. But if they use the code for morbidly obese, then they get a whole lot more money. And who's to determine who's obese and who's morbidly obese when it's all just paperwork? So apparently they overbill the government for these procedures by playing with the codes a bit. It's
yet
one
the
of the,
government feels that they'll save money by having it administered by an outside group. That's where they hope to save the $650 million, they say.
and if they're
In
saving
reality-
money, they're saving it on somebody's back.
in reality, what that group said was that what happens is that people who are retired and go into these Medicare Advantage plans do well on them as long as they are well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When they get sick and they
Exactly.
realize that things are not getting paid for, they go back, they opt out, they go back to Medicare. Now think about it. Medicare has not been getting any premium from me for the last 5 years because I've been in the Medicare Advantage plan. And so suddenly I go back to Medicare. Well, Medicare is going to pay my huge bills for my last year of life, kinds of treatments and things. And so Medicare will be losing. And as a result, they feel that Medicare will go broke from it. These were those doctors, some of those people whose names I was giving you before.
Mhm.
But that was, right now, I think it's 42% of these plans, these Medicare, 42% of retirees have these Medicare Advantage plans. They expect it within the next 2 years to be 50%. And again, they're going to give me silver sneakers, and I'm not going to pay any premium. I'm taking that until I'm sick.
And you can't go to the gym,
Yeah, until I'm really sick and they're going to be getting huge bills. And they're going to say, well, A, we're not letting you have that treatment, or B, we're not paying for it, And then I say, well, I'm going back to Medicare. And so this is, they feel that it's detrimental. Those people, those doctors and lawyers and that group, again, I can give anybody the names that wants them. They felt that these Medicare Advantage plans are not a good thing and are detrimental to Medicare and are going to make it go broke faster than it would have.
Does anybody else have anything to add? Because I'd like to wrap it up in the next couple of minutes, so I'll keep the YouTube to less than an hour.
One quick question, Paul. This sheet that has to be sent in, one of our friends lost theirs. Can we just make a copy and give it to them?
Yes,
Yes.
it's online.
Or, yeah.
Carol down in Florida never got the booklet at all.
Get it through the
A
UF.
lot of people didn't get
Carol knew nothing about it.
Right, she was gonna not do anything and she'd be in the new plan and not know it.
Yeah, that's the
sneaky
sneakiest part.
Right.
If you don't know about it, you
Right.
wake up in January and have a whole new plan.
Well,
Because
supposing
you didn't
you're
opt out.
sick, supposing you're in the hospital these or in the nursing home these few days.
You
Well,
can-
Marilyn,
Bruce,
I wouldn't know about it unless you said something about it, Marilyn. I wouldn't know.
Can you
Really.
download
A
the
lot of
form
people.
on the UF.
Yeah.
There's an old guy lived 2 doors down from me and he's 85 and he was transit. And so I said to him the other day, he lives with his daughter who supposedly works in the doctor's office. I said, does this affect you? And he had no idea what I was talking about. I said, talk to your daughter. And he said, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm old. I'm not going to need it much longer anyway. But that's not the point. You're
Yeah.
going to need it now on your way out, if,
Yeah.
forgive me, but
And you want to leave the house to the kids. You don't want it to go to the hospital.
Okay.
Paul just gave a thumbs up.
oh, is that what that was? I couldn't.
I was
couldn't get a word
responding
in
to
edgewise.
Bruce. Bruce wanted to know if he could download the form from the UFT.
Oh, Bruce, you're back.
Yeah, I
never
have
left.
somewhere I
He's
have.
been here all along. You guys got to get a bigger screen. I got all of you on here.
Let me,
Aren't you lucky?
Yeah.
I'll tell you exactly where to get all of this.
Where?
Groups.
I was sent emails with everything, with
From who?
links.
If you go to uft.org,
New York City, NYC, all right, NYC, Organization of
.org.
Public Service Retirees,
Public.
open parentheses, for benefit preservation. That's the group there's 4,000 people in it now. You don't have to put anything in. They are asking for money to pay for these
Donation.
lawyers. But they're the ones that have that that lawsuit. And I had posted that, I think, on this page. Didn't I, Paul? Didn't I? Or I
Yes.
gave it to somebody.
Good.
Just contact them and ask to join.
You know what I'll do? Listen,
And
guys,
they have all the forms.
I'm gonna go online after, find a specific form link and post the link on our Facebook page.
Perfect.
So you'll
Thank
be
you.
able to just click on it and it'll take you right there.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Hey, Paul,
Yeah,
I'm not
I
on
need to, I
Facebook.
need to go. Good night, everyone, and good luck.
Night, Faith. Yeah.
Good night,
good luck.
Faith.
Thank
Nice seeing you.
Thank you. Good night. Thank
Hey,
you.
Yes,
Paul, can you send that to me via email or
I'll text
text?
it to you, Frank.
Thank you so much. And
My
thanks,
pleasure.
Paul, for reminding me.
Do the same with me, because I don't know a damn thing about the other stuff.
Anybody else?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Good night, everybody. Marilyn, good luck to you.
I don't
Thank you.
have, you know what? I don't have most of your emails. If you send me your email as a message, let's say on Facebook Messenger, I could compile it into one list of IS-34 retirees and then just send it out. Otherwise, the only way I communicate with you is through the Facebook page that I set up, and that's hit and miss because you may or you may not go to Facebook, whereas you probably do check your email every day.
Okay, so send you a message, not to the Totten's.
Well, you did tonight. I have your email now because you
Oh,
you emailed me tonight.
that's right. Okay, great.
All right, listen, you want to
Thanks,
end this,
Marilyn.
so
Good luck,
I'll say
Marilyn.
goodnight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Marilyn, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yep.
Paul.
Yeah, good
Yep.
luck.
I think
And
this
thank
was
you,
pretty good
Marilyn.
tonight. I think we answered a lot of questions, did we not?
Sorry if I talk too much, but I
No, that was good,
Oh.
Marilyn.
feel
did
strongly
Well,
about
you
it.
know something, you're right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
You know, when you're not right in the middle of it, you become a little complacent.
Yeah. And
I
I
only
couldn't-
know about what affects me and, you know, my health wise. I don't know. One
Right.
of my great nieces is in the hospital with something, and I said, I don't know anything about it because I never had it.
And-
I don't want to
and-
know.
And up until last year, I have never, ever been in a hospital. I
God bless
wasn't even born in a hospital. I was born in my farmhouse in Hungary, okay? Last year, I spent 18 days in the hospital. Okay, 16 of them were in the month of August where they nearly killed me. I went in for a 20-minute procedure and it ended up as 2 hospitalizations. And they literally nearly killed me. So at this point, I'm very cognizant and very, very well aware of all this stuff.
Paul, you know something, but you learned a lesson. You always have to go for a second opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Anything important. I was supposed to have an ablation done down here at Staten Island University Hospital because they were going to poke my heart and give me a jolt or something. And I said, you know what? I just think I was over medicated. I said, I'm not going. So I call up, I go up to Columbia Presbyterian. I get this wonderful doctor. And he said, gives me a long, you know, EKG and whatnot. He says, there's nothing wrong with your heart. He says to me. I said, that's funny because right now I'm supposed to be on a gurney going into get an ablation. He says, I do ablations every day. He said, you are not a candidate. He says, I'm going to make you feel better, though. I'm going to give you a monitor to go home. And, you know, I went to Sloan Kettering and I went to hospital surgery, special surgery after that. And they put me through an extensive testing before I could be operated on. And I had put down that I was put into, you know, I went into emergency for my heart because that's what my doctor did. She said, you should, if you were my mother, I'd put you in the hospital. And they said, you don't have any heart problems. What were you doing in, you know?
That was on Staten Island, right?
Staten Island Hospital.
Yeah.
When I went up to
Nothing wrong
Sloan
with
Kettering, they
Yeah.
wanted all my tests beforehand, before you can go into Sloan Kettering. They don't do the testing up there. I had to go and get my test for my lung biopsy. The woman was very, very apologetic. She says, I'm very, very sorry. She says, but I have to tell you that you tested positive and negative. I says, how could you test positive and negative from the same, biopsy? She said, somebody goofed. But I called up Sloan Kettering and explained that.
Well,
Every
I didn't
time
have I didn't have an option of a second opinion. I went in there for an angioplasty because my stress test was inconclusive. And my widowmaker artery, the LAD, was 90% blocked.
Oh, my God.
Okay, in the process of getting the stent in, they screwed up and they ruptured a blood vessel in my heart.
Oh,
no.
God.
You have to be very, what I'm saying is you
The
have.
saga finally ended about a month later when they drained 1.5 quarts of blood from the pericardium around my heart.
Holy cow.
Doctor called me up 2 days before. He says, Paul, I just got the result of your CAT scan. It's too dangerous for you to remain at home. They were afraid of something called cardiac tamponade, which means the fluid around the heart would prevent the heart from functioning. So I had to go in the hospital. You've heard of amniocentesis, right?
Mhm.
Well, they did a pericardial centesis. They put a hollow needle through my thorax and they pumped out 1.5 quarts of blood.
My mother-in-law was supposed to die in 3 weeks on Staten Island. Here's the, what do they call it when the hospice? Hospice in 3 weeks.
Hospice, yeah.
And my little daughter said, let's go downstairs to the mass at the hospital. We came across some people said, what the hell are you doing here? Get on the phone and call Presbyterian on the west. We did that. She lasted 6 months walking in Great Hills Park, going to parties, etc. 6 months more of life.
Yeah, well, they can't tell you when you're gonna die,
No,
but they
but
always
Oh,
say.
no. If you go to
No.
hospice, they can.
Yes, hospice,
They increase the amount of morphine on a
right.
daily basis.
And they
till it
give you
finally
the
puts you
poison.
out.
They give you the poison to keep in the refrigerator to give it to them if they're at home to put them to sleep.
Yeah, well, once you're in hospice, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
well,
they
they
do
wanted to put
what
her
the
in-
doctors tell them.
They wanted to put her in 3 weeks.
Okay, I'm gonna leave you guys.
Me
That's
too.
good night.
I'm gonna leave you
Yeah,
guys.
good
too.
night, everybody.
I'm gonna-
Everybody take care. Be
Thank you,
well.
Paul.
Bye.
I'm gonna edit some of this off and it'll be posted on YouTube, okay? If you want to watch it again.
Well, thanks again.
My
Frank, you
pleasure.
still there?
Thank you, Paul.
Frank
Thank
left.
you. Thank you
All
for
right,
coming
bye.
tonight. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Another month, Paul?
Yeah, I do it like once every month, once every 6 weeks.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Thank you.